All right. I told myself I would just press play off the cuff. Welcome back to the Bitter to Better podcast. It's been a long time coming. Um, it had been a year between the last episode that I released and the one before that. So, November of 2024, I released an episode, and then it had been November of 2023 when I had released an episode before that. So this is me back, officially back, um, to provide weekly episodes of the Bitter to Better podcast. Um, I thought about, making this like season two, but I don't know that I really want seasons to the podcast, but I will definitely say that it's a little bit of a revamp. I will probably also, if I can get on top of my game, have like a new like visual for the podcast, like a new picture or something, just to kind of show the revamp. Which is to say that I'm still very much a relationship and dating coach for women. I would say ideally between the ages of like late 20s and beyond. But I am really niching down into marketing myself as a dating coach for moms for multiple reasons. Um, I am a mom. I am a mom who was dating, now in a committed relationship, engaged, soon to be married. But I also recognize the need for dating help in general for women, but particularly for moms, because it's a lot. It's a lot to date in general. It's definitely a lot to date when you have kids. So I realized I could be really useful in this space and really helpful in this space. And it's all from a business perspective, it's always good to really have a target audience. And dating for moms, for sure. I don't want that to mean that, or to seem that I can't be helpful to other women, because I absolutely can, because 90% of what I talk about and share would just apply to anybody dating, quite frankly, and particularly women, whether they have kids or not. But I have additional things that are helpful to how to do this dating thing as easily and effectively and as fun as possible while also raising human beings. So, here I am, Tracy Pinnock, the Bitter to Better podcast, your breakup and relationship coach, or your breakup and dating coach. I am trained as a marriage and family therapist. I do happen to have a therapy practice based out of Connecticut, a fully virtual practice from home. But that is not what we're here to talk about, because because coaching is not therapy, therapy is not coaching. They are absolutely aligned in a number of ways. But I do like to make it clear that what I talk about on this podcast, what I do in my coaching, is coaching, not therapy. Very important to keep them distinct. I do see therapy clients, but those clients are my clients. They know who they are. And my coaching clients will be my coaching clients, once I actually finish my programs and have them available to everyone. But in the meantime, you have this here podcast. And so I recommend that you follow it and pass it on to any woman, particularly any mother who you know who wants to date, needs to date, is trying to date, is hating dating, loving dating, wanting help with dating, all that good stuff. I realize that I am going on and on about dating, but the Bitter to Better podcast is also for breakup recovery. Anyone who is struggling with a breakup of a serious relationship, a marriage, any sort of ending of a romantic relationship. The title Bitter to Better is actually from the idea of was born out of my desire to do breakup recovery. When I was 30, I told myself I was going to write a book called Bitter to Better, that it would be published by the time I was 35. Did not happen, but what did happen is the realization that I was going to be making a breakup recovery program. And so bitter to better comes from that idea, going from feeling very bad, very down, very not good to better after breakups. And then that also transitioned into dating because I realized, that's the thing after recovering from a breakup or while recovering from a breakup is dating for a future relationship. And I have put my time and energy right now into the dating aspect in terms of building my dating course, my dating program, um, first before really putting out the breakup program. Um, Partially because, I was actively in the dating phase about a year ago, a little over a year ago. Um, and I also realized that, like, that's what people would ask for a lot. It's like dating advice and dating tips and things like that. So, nonetheless, the Bitter to Better podcast is a place to come for dating and breakup recovery and relationship stuff, as well as things around like stress management and just dealing with life. And that's because the reality is that things like breakups impact all aspects of your life, how you parent, your work, your health, your social life, your mood, your mental health, all of these different things. And so being able to manage stress, do good self care, and just generally manage your life are aspects of recovering from breakups. And being able to date intentionally, dating with like goals in mind of finding an ideal partner for yourself, definitely involves you having certain aspects of your life in order, having, time to do it, having the mental space to do it, having certain circumstances or logistics, in your life in order to be able to do what you need to do. Sometimes, it's finances or your health and fitness or your, physical aesthetic, how you dress, all sorts of things, childcare, time, all of these things impact your dating life as well. So we talk about it all here. So, I am looking forward to getting back into the podcast. I really see this podcast. I see my programs, which are at this point going to be like group coaching programs. I see them as spaces, safe spaces, joyful spaces, helpful, informative, supportive spaces for women to talk about these important topics. So I guess I could talk a little bit about my plans for the podcast coming up. I right now have been kind of putting together a list of interviews I'd like to do with people I know, people in my life, friends, colleagues, women who have things to contribute to this space. So I'm excited for that. I've had some people agree. And so I'm looking forward to bringing some of those conversations to the podcast. And I also am going to have my just solo episodes in which I talk about specific topics around dating and breakups. I think so far of the episodes that exist on the podcast, a couple are breakup specific, a number of them are stress management, self care related, and many are dating related. So I'm always interested to hear from listeners what they want to hear about and talk about on the podcast to give me ideas. But I also have plenty of ideas, and I just need to actually execute. So there's that. The last episode I recorded was a very brief, like, update of the fact that some things in my personal life had changed since I had recorded that, I guess, November 2023 episode. That I went from November 2023 being single and dating to now being engaged and living with my partner and our 4 kids. I have 2, he has 2, we have 4, and our dog and turtle and fish. And so that's a big change and a big shift. And I, will share, helpful information in regards to that. Like, I definitely practiced what I preach here on this podcast and in my work with women around dating and breakup recovery, and it has served me well. Um, yeah, I've moved into a house with my partner and our kids. I've made career shifts in that I've had my private therapy practice for years, but I had also, for a year, worked at an agency job for mental health, developmental health for kids. And I quit that job to transition to just having my practice part time and then really putting my time and energy to building my coaching practice. So, what I do here on this podcast and what I will be doing in my group coaching programs and the courses that I create for dating and breakups and relationships. So, there's been a lot of shifts for me. Um, and yeah, with where that stuff is pertinent, I like to share about it. So I'm just very happy to be relaunching the Bitter to Better podcast and be, getting back on track with providing you with consistent weekly episodes and content. So at this point, I will just say stay tuned for the next episode. In the meantime, you can follow this podcast. You can follow me on Instagram at tracie.pinnock. That's TRACIE.PINNOCK. That last name will be changing soon enough, but we'll get to that when the time comes. I also have a YouTube channel by the same name, Tracie Pinnock. That I do not update currently at this time, but there is some helpful breakup and dating content on there, so I do recommend you check it out. And I do have a TikTok. So bad. I think it might be under the Better Coach, or maybe it's under my name. I don't know. You can see how much I use that and update that. But really, this podcast and Instagram is the way to go. I will eventually be rebooting my email list, so then that would be a definitely a place to follow me. But I will let you guys know when that is available. In the meantime, I can't wait to continue getting into it. And welcome back.